This photograph of Prince Harry was widely circulated in the media, not just due to his pouty expression, but due to the fact that Princess Anne's hat blocked Harry's view and blocked a lot of pictures of Harry during this event, much like the candle blocked Meghan's face. But when you look beyond Harry's sour expression, his gaze over at William during the service, and his rather odd behaviors during this brief visit back to the UK for King Charles's coronation, a much darker picture emerges of the state of things. This photograph was taken on May 6th, 2023, at Westminster Abbey, while Harry was seated in the third row, partially and sometimes completely obstructed from view by the large red feather on Princess Anne's hat, which in and of itself became famous thanks to these photographs. This was the coronation ceremony of King Charles III, of which Prince William played a very prominent role. The obstructed view drew significant attention on social media, with many comparing to a similar incident at Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, where Meghan was blocked by a candle. Princess Anne even later defended her choice of hat, explaining that she was asked to perform the role and that the hat was not chosen to purposely block her nephew's view, but rather was the traditional hat for the uniform and dress that she was wearing at the time. But Harry and some of his supporters online tried to use the hat as the scapegoat to push his narrative that the royal family treated him poorly. But given the context that at this point, Spare had only been on shelves for about 4 months, so the wounds from Spare were still very fresh. And once again, we see this discomfort of Harry in that his family is actually showing him grace and treating him fairly by inviting him to this monumental occasion for his father, rather than banning him for his bad behavior, his lies, and his unfair treatment of his family. He and Meghan had been on, at this point, 3 or 4 years straight of attacking the royal family in various forms and in various formats. And yet still, he was extended an invitation to the coronation. And it tends to make these types of people uncomfortable because it creates this cognitive dissonance that they simply cannot reconcile. That someone who they are painting as and using as a scapegoat, as just like the worst people in their lives and the source of all their woes and problems, is showing them kindness and treating them in a fair manner. There's no ammunition there for Harry to lash out at them any longer when these types of things happen. And so it makes it very confusing for that person on an emotional level. But we also see some of these pictures of him looking at William or Catherine and the children that just look really rather uncomfortable, because obviously there has to be a part of Harry that's grieving the opportunities he threw away and lost and the bridges that he burned. Harry would have had a much more prominent role and been much more heavily featured in the coronation had he not gone on scorched earth mode to his family since before 2020. Had he not been so problematic, had he not attacked them so publicly, he probably would have been seated much closer to the front, much closer to William. He may have even had an active role in the coronation alongside William to some extent. But instead, the choices that he made, this is where he's at instead. Leave in the comments what you think is going through his mind in this photograph. Is it disdain? Is it regret? Is it grief for what he could have had and had lost? I can't imagine something so incredibly special and unique as your father being the king of a beautiful nation, throwing all that away and not experiencing immense grief. But let's move on to this delightful picture of King Charles hugging Prince Louis. I love this picture. It is so super cute. It was taken on April 23rd, 2020 at the family's Norfolk home. It was taken by Catherine, Princess of Wales, for Prince Louis's 2nd birthday. How precious. This intimate black and white portrait was taken by Catherine herself and is one of her best, in my opinion. This photograph reveals raw emotion, beautifully highlighting the exceptionally warm and close bond between the king and his youngest grandson. And it's photographs like these that not only bring a new level of humanity and relatability and tenderness and a more well-rounded picture of King Charles as an individual, as a king, as a grandfather, but it also highlights the disconnect between what we see here in real relationships and the results of real relationships. A toddler who's 2 years old is not going to hug someone like this unless they have an established, solid relationship with them. Trust me. A 2-year-old will literally scream, hide behind mom or dad, run away, say, get away from me, like anything to get away from someone, even a relative that they don't know very well who wants physical closeness or a hug. Like, it is just not happening. And this, you can see this tender delight and love in King Charles's eyes. You can see Prince Louis is fully squished against his face. His body is turned against him. He's comfortable with King Charles. His arm is tucked cozily around his neck. There is absolutely no discomfort in this picture to be found whatsoever. And therefore, it is so profoundly genuine and authentic. What the Sussexes have tried to push, Harry especially, is that King Charles was cold, hardly even hugged him, was distant, did not convey love or tenderness at all. Now, of course, people can change and grow and develop and improve. Of course, and they should. But when we see things like this, and it's so viscerally real and affectionate and a healthy display of a grandparent-grandchild bond, it just goes to show how dramatic, overblown, contrived, manipulative the Sussexes really are, and how sinister it is to try to paint a horrible picture of someone who very clearly has happy, well-established, healthy relationships with 3 of his grandchildren and his daughter-in-law and his son. It feels incredibly unfair of Harry to continue to try to push a narrative that's so clearly far from true. But let's look at another photograph of Catherine's that she took. She is a really talented photographer. I wish I could take pictures this good. Maybe someday I will do it as a hobby and learn and get better at it, because I would love to be able to take portraits and photographs as beautifully as her. Look at this Father's Day picture. I love this picture so much. Look at it. Look at it. It's perfect. This was taken or released on June 16th, 2024 for Father's Day on a beach in Norfolk. It's the Prince of Wales, William, with his children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. This Father's Day image shows a protective and hands-on approach, with Prince William embracing his children while they look out towards the sea. This release followed a public appearance by the Princess of Wales at Trooping the Colour the day prior, marking her first engagement since her diagnosis. The children signed the social media post with the caption, "We love you, Papa. Happy Father's Day, G, C, and L." It is a strong representation of family strength, especially in the face of adversity and challenge. I find it exceptionally beautiful because she is watching the loves of her life and her beautiful family as she sees them. A clear day off. This is their natural state, you know? This is capturing a moment of genuine family experience and dynamic. And this is that same sort of theme of when a family is truly emotionally close, you see these types of pictures come that are so naturally physically close. You don't get naturally physically close pictures from a family unit that's not truly healthy, intimately connected on an emotional and physical level on their everyday. It shows Prince William has this hands-on and affectionate approach with his family unit. It shows and demonstrates a tight familial bond. And I just think that it's such a lovely touch, because here's William just in his hoodie and hat on a casual day. Everybody's in their shorts and t-shirts, just this is what actual fatherhood and family life for them looks like. So I think it was the perfect choice for Father's Day, and a beautiful photograph, and just a wonderful display to convey the realness and the relatability that they have. And knowing the context of when this came, that she was still going through her treatments some and was, still recovering a lot during this time, just barely dipping her toe back into public engagements, gives it all the more significance of the emotional weight that they all are carrying, and that their coping mechanism was nature as shown in this picture, but also togetherness. When you contrast it with some of the pictures of like the Sussexes with their children, for example, you just don't see the same level of physical continuity, closeness, affection that's just natural and in the moment like this is. I feel like this is such a unique picture for that reason. When we look at this batch of like some of the Sussex's family photos with Catherine, Princess of Wales's more recent pictures of her and her family, really showing what they're truly like, and this true quality connection that they have and that they foster within their family unit, that they're not focused on strife and combativeness and having distance. And it just is fascinating to me how some of these things, these vibes, come through in the photographs when we compare them. But leave below what photographs or occasions, moments in time, events that you would like me to feature in an upcoming episode of The Story Behind the Photograph. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a happy day ahead. I'll see you next time. Bye!